Check 1, check 2, check 3. What is up, Facebook land? We are maybe a little bit late. Not quite a day late. Definitely not $1 short. We're ready to start with y'all. We're just going to do it a little bit more off the cuff than we were planning. Just going to wait for a few people to join us. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being so patient. This is the North Coast Redwoods. You're looking at a site that you might see from Sumeg Village, but you're actually looking at a screen. That's right, because you are in the North Coast Redwoods Port Studio. And the reason we're here is because we are trying to shelter in place, just like everybody else, and make sure that we're still providing some content to you all. We had some tech issues, which meant that we could not connect the way we wanted to, but we're still going to connect to you. So how's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan, and this is the place where a lot of magic happens when it comes to education in our state parks. And I wanted to introduce to you somebody here, and her name is Maiya. Where are you, Maiya?
Hi.
Now, Maiya, we are not able to virtually put you in. Well, actually, we can a little bit. I'm going to switch it right over here. So this is usually where Maiya presents her ports programs from. And Maiya, what is the space behind you? What do you talk about in your programs?
This is a Redwood plank house, and I talk about Sumeg Village, which is in Patrick's Point State Park.
And what do you do with state parks in general?
I give informational tours, virtually and in person, as an interpreter.
Awesome. So at any given time, especially during Thursdays, she'll be giving webinars from this location to people throughout California, throughout the country. A lot of people are sheltering in place right now, and so a lot of people are really depending on some sort of education in their home. And so what we've been doing here with state parks is we've been connecting into classrooms remotely, a lot of times using this space here, our green screen studio. And at any given time of the week, there might be different kinds of activities that you're able to join in on. And we'll be streaming some of those from our Ports Facebook page. So if you go on to look up California State Parks Ports program. But right now we're going to talk a little bit about Sumeg Village and Patrick's Point State Park. We are not able to be there right now because we are sheltering in place. But if any of you are planning on visiting any place, maybe just to get some exercise, just make sure to respect that social distance, the 6 feet of space between yourself and other people, just for safety. And we're going to try to do that here in the studio and cover our coughs when we feel the urge. I'm going to rotate this around and bring it back to Maiya real quick. And so Maiya, the house that would ordinarily be projected behind you right there, could you describe a little bit about this house and its significance?
So, like I said, it's a Redwood plank house, and this is like a living house. So, just like you have neighborhoods, this would be like a neighborhood. It'd be just big and like a house. And so there's different, you can see different ways that your house might be different than this house. And so Yurok people had redwood houses. And so they wouldn't cut down their redwood. They would wait till it falls. And so that is because redwood is super important to Yurok people, and that we always give it organs and body parts, and because it symbolizes that it's living and that it's important to us.
And a question for you, Maiya, is how these houses, they're made from planks. A lot of houses in the North Coast are made from redwoods, and especially were made from redwoods, and they had to be cut down. Did the Yurok people cut down redwoods to build these houses?
No, they would wait till they would fall, and then they would usually explode into a bunch of mini pieces that might end up looking like these plank houses, or these planks that you put in your house.
And the houses themselves, I noticed that there's a circular door, and I want to just pass this over to the audience real quick. Does anyone have an idea why those doors, why the entryway might be circular like that? Does anyone want to add a thought? So it might take there's a little bit of a delay between ourselves and the people connecting, and the viewers. So looks like we don't have any guesses right now. Let's see if I'll give another second. Anyone have a guess? Why do you think the entryway to one of these houses would be circular? All right, why don't you go ahead and let us know. What is the significance of a circular door, Maiya?
These guys right here.
Right there.
Their bodies can't fit into those small doors, so it's for predators to not be able to come inside your house and eat you.
Ah.
So it was like your security. But so they would have small doors like this to keep predators out, and they'd have certain ways of going in and out of doors for men and women. And there would also be sometimes plugs that would go in the holes, or maybe something to cover it.
Awesome. So it looks like we got some people guessing. I'm going to guess there's probably a little bit of a delay that's happening. So sorry we didn't get to your responses in time, but it looks like more fun to go through than a tall door, maybe keeping wind and weather out, and also some people said to block with a rock. Well, you can block those doors, but you don't block them with a rock, do you?
No.
What would you use?
Another piece of redwood. You would just chip it until it fit inside the hole like a plug.
Awesome. So just again, for those people who are just joining us, we are in the port studio, the North Coast Redwoods port studio, and we had some technical issues, and so rather than just kind of give up on it, we decided we would just do this with a mobile device and just kind of show you where we were going to present from anyway. I want to know if there are any questions that anyone has for Ranger Maiya about some of the work that she does. And in the meantime, can I just ask you, what is the significance of Sumeg Village?
So this place has been here since time immemorial, and this specific area was a village at one point, but this now is Sumeg now that is in the park is a recreated village created about 30 years ago for the purpose of people to learn about Yurok culture and give ceremonies for the native people, and just it's a learning tool for kids and adults.
And what is Sumeg Village's significance to you?
My family came from around this area, and this is more of like a seasonal village, so it was somewhere people traveled to be able to find food on the coast of the ocean.
And in your childhood, you had mentioned to me before that you have done activities at Sumeg Village.
Yes, I have participated in ceremony at Sumeg Village since I was about 12 years old. I had my own coming of age ceremony there, and so I've been a part of ceremony for about 7 years there.
Awesome. So aside from, let's see, do we have any more questions? Nope, not yet. So aside from being an interpreter at Sumeg Village, okay, we got one here. What's one of your favorite experiences that you've had at Sumeg?
Just being there is an amazing experience.
Just being there. Just looking again, this is the way we can show you this content right now since we are just sheltering in place in our North Coast Redwood studio. But this is the kind of the space that you could come and visit if when you're able to come out and visit some of our parks. And it's one of the reasons that we're doing these live streams every day at 3 o'clock is just so that you have something to look forward to and when you are able to come out and visit some of these parks. Aside from interpreting Sumeg Village and doing that work, what are some things that what do you like to do in your own time? What do you like to do for fun?
In the
just in general?
Go on walks in the parks. Do art.
Do art. What kind of art do you like to do?
Ceramics and painting and drawing.
Excellent. We have another question from Anne that says, how many people would be there at one time? How many people maybe traditionally would be at the village at one time?
So in Sumeg Village right now, there are 4 living structures. One is deconstructed. So typically if you think about like a neighborhood, there's lots of houses. So it would just be like that. It'd be 10 houses in one area that's completely flat and like a meadow, so that they could see out. So it would be maybe around 100, 200 people, depending on how many houses there are in the village.
Another question that we have from Sophie is, was there traditionally a village in that location where Sumeg Village is today?
Yes, there was. At some point there was a seasonal village there, but there is an area in the park that is closed to public that they closed off because that is one of the original areas to the site.
Can you, and I'll get to your question, Red, in just a moment, can you show us where Patrick's Point is located on the map real quick?
So we are on the coastline of California at the tippy top left corner.
So a question for all of you is, if you look at this map, you'll notice that it has these boundaries, and these are boundaries of tribal land. So this is the indigenous land of each of these different tribes. And so maybe one activity for you all to do is look on the map. If you are from California, can you figure out what ancestral tribal land you are located on? And maybe if you're from somewhere else, maybe you know what tribal land your home or your community is located on. So a question that we have for you is, how many people lived in one of the plank houses, like the ones at Sumeg Village?
So usually it would be extended family too, more than just your brothers and your sisters and your mom and your dad. It'd be maybe your grandma or your grandpa, and your cousins, your first cousins, because there's no word for first cousin in Yurok. So that would be like your brother or sister, and maybe like an aunt or an uncle in that house. So maybe up to 7 to 10 people in one house. Excellent.
All right, so it looks like I haven't seen any more questions. So I think what we're going to do is I think we'll wrap this up for today. And again, I want to thank everyone so much for being patient and patient with some of our tech issues. We managed to figure this out. One way or another, we were going to connect with you. Hope you enjoyed a little behind-the-scenes look at our studio here in the North Coast Redwoods. And please stay tuned tomorrow at 3 o'clock for another one of our live streams. And we'll be doing these every day of the week at 3 o'clock East Pacific time. So hope to see you soon. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and stay safe. We'll see you soon.